here today at the podcast part 4, and we're going to discuss how to sell more primary tickets. And primary tickets means the tickets that are newly bought, so no resold tickets. Charlotte Maynard, do I pronounce your name?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I can. Thanks for having me. I work for LWE, which is a promoter in London. You might know us for LWE, Junction 2, Kogo Festival, and Ion Festival in Albania, amongst other projects. We have around 70 shows a year in London, ranging from venues 500 capacity right up to the size of Wembley Arena, and our festivals are from 3,000 capacity to 50,000 capacity. So we work across lots of different genres, lots of different venue types and event types as well.
What was the most difficult venue you ever hosted an event?
Tobacco Dock we do 9 times a year, and it's a very challenging venue to work in.
Why?
It's an old shopping centre, so
Cool.
it's very specific sizes, and it's also a grade 1 listed venue as well, so it's protected by the city, so you can't kind of screw into walls, and you have to use certain fittings, and we have to completely recarpet the venue after every event, so 9 times a year it gets a new carpet. We broke a glass door once not long ago, and that was quite a drama.
And expensive, probably.
Yeah, it was expensive, but it's a great venue. The potential for the event set up in there is really cool, and we get to do a lot of things with it production wise. Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction. Wyan, you work at Xceed. Xceed is a platform, but
Yes.
what kind of platform is it? Because it's really disruptive in the industry.
Oh, you checked it out. Hello, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for having me. Yes, we are a ticketing platform,
Yeah.
but we're data-based, and we pretty much divide our business into 2 parts. One is more of the B2C, so agenda-based, and then the other side is a management platform for organizers. Obviously, we base it around tickets. That's where the money is, but there's a lot more that we offer. It's a modular system that allows for PR management, table management, and marketing tools as well. So
Because you're as a customer, you're able to just if you didn't decide where to go yet, you can go to the platform and just like book tables at restaurants, book tickets for clubs, right?
yeah, restaurants and bars is future. I would say 2024. Right now, we're really based on clubbing.
But there are
So
restaurants on the
There
website,
definitely
right?
are. Definitely are.
But it's
we
just a
also-
smaller part of the.
Yeah, we opened a new vertical during COVID. It's in our future plans, but right now our bread and butter is really large format clubs and festivals.
Cool, thank you.
So my pleasure.
And you're from Barcelona, right?
I am originally from Ibiza,
Uh-huh.
and I am based out of Barcelona.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tamas,
Good morning.
do I pronounce it the right way, Tamas?
You did, thank you. And happy to be with all
yes.
of you here.
You work at TicketSwap, right?
I do.
And I came across your job title, but I'm not sure if it's head of new markets or head of international expansion.
Yeah, depending on the forum where I go, I use different titles. But yeah, basically this is the most fun function at TicketSwap.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm responsible for is opening new geographic markets for the company. So TicketSwap was born out from Amsterdam 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we became market leaders in this segment of Europe. And my job is to open new geographic locations. And currently I'm busy with the Nordics region, the DACH region, Central Eastern Europe, Brazil, and a lot more to come next year.
Yeah, because in how many countries is TicketSwap right now?
Last I checked, we were active in 36 countries.
Yeah, and what is a country that's still on your wish list?
On my wish list, that's
Do you have one?
That's a fun question. Obviously, I would like to leave Europe and go also to the Northern Americas region, but also Asia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wyan, what is your experience in selling primary tickets?
From starting small parties on my own to I was actually it's a long time ago. I worked for Manumission in Ibiza, and we were selling tickets in the street, and it was a big hustle. Then we went to wristbands, And since then, I also worked at Defected.
Yeah.
And we launched the first Defected Croatia, and that was a really good deep dive into selling tickets, especially having to move people from, it was pretty much UK based clients all the way to Croatia was pretty interesting. And then now with experience, I'm in it up to as far as I can go. We deal with we probably have around 500 clients every day that are using our platform.
Yeah.
So we deal with a lot of, I learn through them, right?
How do you reach your clients?
They're all in my pocket.
Okay, well, or the visitors for the website.
Yeah,
like
so
the users.
As
the
I was
customers.
saying, we have two branches of our company, and one is the B2C, which is I think what you're referring to is more of the app and the discovery side of it.
Yeah.
That's more of the agenda. I tend to do more of the B2B side, which is my direct clients would be someone like Charlotte, which would be the event organizer himself, and then we provide the tools for them. So those are the ones that I deal with on a regular basis.
Okay.
Someone like that we're super proud of, like Pasha, for example. Pasha Ibiza is we're their technology providers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we rolled that out this year. That was a lot of fun in Mykonos and in Ibiza and wherever else they want to do something.
Pasha is like big around the world, right? Because it started, I think, in Ibiza.
1972, a little bar in Sitges, which is about a half hour from Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I think 1973 they opened the little finca in Ibiza, which is now what we all know. But yeah, super proud of that one. It was super fun, and they had their own requirements, and so we're able to ad hoc and develop for them so that they can expand as well.
Cool.
That was super fun. That was really cool this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, get to go hang out with my mom in Ibiza. It was nice.
Oh yeah. Charlotte, do you experience any challenges in selling primary tickets?
None whatsoever. Sorry.
Oh yeah, constant challenges. I would say that we've got a good awareness of the market in London, and we've had a lot of practice, and we have a definite structure for ticket sales that we tend to work to across most of our events now, and we've got the process down to a fine art. Whether the process runs exactly to plan every time, I don't know. There needs to be a lot of flexibility with the ticket sales model.
Do you also experience a lot of fake tickets or?
Less now than they used to be. I think ticket sites have become more advanced with that kind of thing. It was a real problem 5 or so years ago.
Yeah.
I would say it's got a lot easier. Things like dice or app-based technology has made that problem a lot easier.
Yeah. Tamas, what channels do you consider most effective for selling primary tickets? Because I would think that it would be something like social media. Is it social media apps, or is it like more dedicated fan communities?
Well, I mean, it's good to know that TicketSwap is basically a ethical resale platform for ticketing. So from first hand, our customers come to our platform to safely buy and sell between themselves. So it's a peer-to-peer platform. So it's just good to reinstate here is that we are basically the plug-and-play solution for primary ticketing companies to handle their secondary. But it's a very relevant question because from very first moments we understood that we need to work hand in hand with the primary ticketers and also the promoters. They have the skin in the game, and we work towards the same interest. So what we are also rediscovering, we would like to be an added value to all the people here, and basically give them an additional reach through our network. And basically I would reshape the question and say, you know, we built up almost 9 million users in the past 10 years. And those are the hardcore fans. Those are the ones who always signed up for a wish list, for a waiting list, once they couldn't get into a show. So we can give this added value to the promoter and the primary ticket sellers. So thanks to us, they can reach an additional community. So we are basically one of those.
Does TicketSwap wants to switch from being a secondary ticket seller to a primary ticket seller?
No, this is not in the planning, and that's why we are sitting next to these guys.
We
here.
integrated, Tell me the truth.
We are integrated, and I'm very proud of that. No, TicketSwap is proud to be an independent player.
Yeah.
And we have currently close to 40 ticketing integrations, and we do not want to compete with them. We want to be the one-stop shop and help them to have a greater reach.
Cool. Thanks. Do you want to jump in or?
Well, we integrated for the reason that it's a really big market, and I think they do it much better than we could probably do it for now and for a long time to come. I mean, obviously, we all think about blockchains and something farther down the line.
Yeah.
But they have a great added value. We were super happy to integrate. Not only do we recommend it to our clients when our clients ask us about the other possibilities, and it helps. Charlotte mentioned other platforms that do have their own systems, and we decided that we weren't going to focus on that for now. We have so much other things that we find that are priority.
Yeah.
And they do it so well that there's really no point.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have to do everything yourself. It's also a good idea to just outsource it for efficiency reasons, for instance.
So going back to your channels and selling primary, I mean, obviously it's what she does every day. We provide the tools to our clients so that they can see where their sales are coming from.
Yeah.
And obviously we also, on our B2C side, we have our own community of users that use our platform to find events, and then we use the standard channels. I mean, so from maintaining our community, may it be through social media or through newsletters or push notifications. That's one side, and we're actually really trying to help our clients sell more. We're not competing with our own clients.
No.
We provide a solution for them. I mean, that's the priority for especially from my side. Maybe our CMO would think something else, but as head of sales for the B2B, then I put my clients forward first.
And do you see that one of the channels is more effective, like for social media newsletters or
on sales? That's a question for her.
Yeah, I think genuinely, social media, the days of social media being the best way to sell tickets, those days are gone now, because the reach on Facebook is small unless you're paying for that. The reach on Instagram is also dropping off unless you're going to pay for that. So if you've got a giant marketing budget, and some of our events do have big marketing budgets, you can plow a very good chunk of your revenue into social ads. If you haven't got that, the days of just being able to put a post out on social media and think that's going to sell your tickets, those days are gone, unfortunately. So it's all about having different data sets in different places. So you mentioned mailers. If you can do a sign-up process at the start of the event, which we tend to do for pretty much every event, especially when we're testing new artists and new venues.
Would you consider it effective to run ads to promote an event?
Definitely need to do that for every event, but it shouldn't be all that you're doing, because there's a lot of variables there, and it's not an effective strategy on its own. There's different types of data collection you can do to retarget people that visit your ads, retarget people that visit your webpage, collect email addresses and SMS as well. SMS actually has a 95% delivery rate, whereas email has sometimes the delivery rate can be down in the 60s or 70s, depending on how fresh your mailing list is.
Do people actually want to give their number?
Yeah, quite a few, yeah, because a lot of people's inboxes are just stuffed with junk emails, and if they're really engaged with the brand and they want to get that pre-sale ticket as soon as it comes on sale, it's the most direct way for them to get the ticket link, and people are using mobile mostly now anyway. So if there's an event that you think is going to sell out within a couple of hours and you want that ticket, then they're going to give their phone number. So but there's other things as well, like you mentioned your platform, and getting assistance from your ticket platform's really important too, as the most different kind of data sets you can access, the better. So your mailing list, TicketSwap's push notifications. Maybe you've got a secondary ticketing site as well, so you've got one primary and you're using another 2 ticket outlets as well, and everyone's got different methods and different sets of data that they can contact, and it's all about kind of spreading your bets across as many different channels as possible these days, I think. But of course, if you're a super grassroots promoter and you've got a really engaged audience, then good for you. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. But it's harder and harder these days with social media being. Yeah.
It really depends on the event. You know, if you're doing a small venue and you're open 2 or 3 days a week, then it's one type of marketing strategy. Yeah. Then if you're just doing headliners and you got to fill a stadium, then it's going to be completely different.
It depends on how many people you have to reach, right?
Also, and if you want to reach new audiences or you want to get back to your loyal audience, so exactly, completely agree with.
But if you're not using a pixel, then you're in the 80s.
What is a pixel?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I know
it's super useful.
Yeah.
I mean, I was glad she said it. And it's all the remarketing and the way to do your ads these days. It's evolving every day, and so we are also trying to. So like the development of our platform is one, we're trying to help our clients do better. So it's educational. But at the same time, they're pushing us to be better because they're getting farther and farther into it. And so together, I think that there's good synergies to push the market itself. And everyone has to adapt. You know, without paying, you're not going to reach anyone. Yeah. You know, and then the pixel was just to target. I mean, if you're running any type of campaign, you shouldn't be choosing what the characteristics of that campaign are. You should be basing your campaigns on pixels. And
because it's
Google
expensive, you know, so you want to get the most out of your digital ad spend by making sure you're reaching exactly the right audience and not just throwing your money to Facebook. Sorry, Meta.
Does it matter where a fan buys a ticket, and does that have any effect on the experience that a fan has or a visitor?
Well, I think it really comes down to the brand, the event, the market. I mean, there are instances where the brands have a close affiliation with the ticketer or the service provider. I think lots of the cases that we just mentioned here, those are the facts. And then there are other cases where the service provider is a white label solution in the background, and the fans have no idea where they purchased the ticket from. Yeah. So I think there are several cases for this, but yeah, I truly believe that the fan experience starts from first going on the landing page of the provider, and it doesn't end when the gates open, right? Yeah. So with marketing, retargeting campaigns, mentioning the next editions, but also if I just get 3 steps back, the reselling headache. So it's a long journey, but it definitely starts with these providers.
Yeah, and also if you buy a ticket through like a shady website or a shady person, and it isn't how do you say it, valid? Yeah. Then you have no experience at all.
Yeah, one thing I have, if I take my TicketSwap hat off and just a regular customer, one thing that could annoy me if I have to have 10 different apps in my phone to access, or 10 different solutions to store my tickets.
Yeah, sometimes you still have to print a ticket still.
Yeah, so I think the solutions that can integrate, not make the fans' life more difficult. Yeah, that's the goal.
And do you notice any do you notice any difference in fan behavior when we look at like before 2019 or 2020 when Corona hit like the world, and right now? Is it harder to persuade them to buy tickets?
Direction. Definitely, and I think we should reflect on this, all 3 of us. I think fans want more flexibility because long-term in advance decision making is less of a factor now. You know, like what they used to do before that. Okay, I purchase 5 super expensive tickets for my friends and flights and accommodation. who knows what's happening in 6 months' time. So I think that's one major direction I keep seeing, and I also keep hearing from our promoter partners and ticketing partners that fans make decisions and purchase behaviors much more closer to the event.
Sorry, just one quick question. What do you think they want? Do they want to make a reservation? Do they want to be able to get their money back if shit hits the fan again?
Flexibility. And what flexibility means, an option to resell, an option for refund, any kind of alternatives. But the fact is that they are making decisions last minute, that it's definitely a challenge for every one of us.
Yeah, we see it in the data all the time. And I mean, our clients are always like, do we pull the plug on an event? And you're just like, watch the last 3 days.
Hold your nerve. We're seeing interesting ticket buying patterns, really. I don't know about the rest of Europe, but London's quite strong at the moment. Like, surprisingly, we thought that the autumn and winter would be difficult because of the cost of living crisis. That's the same across Europe. But it's actually ticket sales are quite strong, but with a very different buying pattern. The on-sale moment is very strong. People are buying tickets in advance. And then the sales drop off completely until the week of the event. So you kind of have a big peak at the beginning and then almost nothing and then a big peak right at the end again. And it used to be kind of with a peak and then quite steady. But now it's either people are committing far in advance because they want a cheaper ticket, or they're not making their minds up until the week of the event and they know they've got the money to go out. So hold your nerve until the last minute, just like you're saying,
And Charlotte, what interests me is, did your audience change when it comes to local visitors versus other visitors from inland or international?
Most of our visitors are from London and surrounding counties anyway. We have a really strong scene in London, so I'm not sure really about international visitors. I think they're still mostly British. But I think another point right now, if we're talking about ticket sales, is ticket pricing, because I mean I was watching the news this morning, so I know it's the same across Europe. Cost of living crisis, price of gas, inflation everywhere. People just don't have the budget that they used to have, so event organisers need to be sensitive with their ticket pricing, and it's difficult because cost of everything is increasing, cost of venue hire is increasing. So you have the choice of whether to pass that on to the customer or not. And I think prices are going up a little bit everywhere, but we need to be realistic about the cost of ticket prices, because let's face it, sometimes they're getting high, and you can't expect to sell a lot of primary tickets if your ticket price is too high.
Do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, I don't want to point any fingers, but everything has gone up. And I mean, I just from speaking to clients, but from artists to production costs to venue hiring, everything has gone up. So you try to pass that on a little bit, and you can chip away. Selling more tickets, as you said, when you have that initial spike, is either they're buying because one, they're the real fans. So they come out and they're like, oh my God, I want to be there. Those are the clients that you really want to take care of. Create your communities around, and also just because they want to make sure that they gotta, if they decided, why not save that €10 because they purchase ahead of time.
But how are we able to keep it affordable for people?
How? Well, we're doing all our best. I mean, our commissions just keep on going down. So I would point the finger at others. We don't need to say who, but I think everyone knows, right? So that's one way. I think at the end, it's the people who go, it's the fans that are gonna make it. If it's too expensive, they won't go, and it's their experience. One other thing is that we always talk about tickets, but there's also a lot more there. So we can sell an experience, and that's something that we're really developing. Is not just to sell a ticket or a ticket with a drink, but more of an experience. You can include, say, we do an interactive map of the club, and you can choose the table you want to be at, or you can choose different types of drink combinations, or we're looking forward to maybe accommodation in certain type situations, or giving our clients the opportunity to do bundles, maybe with merchandise or with a meet and greet or whatever it might be. and I think that's also going to hit different price points. And
Yeah.
it really just depends on, but it's the final buyer who's going to judge. If it's too
Yeah.
expensive, then you'll know why people aren't going,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think the challenge is there and will be there, but I also try to believe that every critical situation also opens up new opportunities, and we all need to learn and adapt. If I just think back of what happened when COVID broke, I was closely watching and following the hospitality industry, for example.
The,
And
ho-
when
the
w-
hospitality?
Yeah. And
I-
then when international travels drop, but the next thing you notice that inland travel started to boom in lots of countries, you know, and so there will be behavior change. So I think we will have to tackle a lot of challenges, but we also need to pinpoint, okay, where are opportunities? So maybe if someone's budget is changing and they stop going to expensive vacations to Asia or to the Middle East, you know, they may stay inland and they start to visit your events and start to go to your experiences. How do you reach those people? I mean, time will tell, but behavior change, even in the toughest times, also create opportunities.
Yeah, that's also what we saw with people going on a vacation during COVID. Instead of flying to Bali or Curacao or the United States or wherever, they just mostly stayed in Europe or even in their own country and just went camping or something like that. So
yeah, for me that's the most exciting thing, and most probably you know this better and more about this than I do. But where is the event following and even going behavior is changing? Are they going to go still to international big festivals and travel across border? Or are they going to stay inland and go into your venues on Fridays and Saturdays nights? What's going to be?
Last year was perfect. Last summer was like a boom time. The events were selling out in the UK within minutes because people were just overjoyed that things were open again and they couldn't necessarily travel. This summer was very different, and people were going abroad a lot more. With everything being open again, I think people are choosing to do festivals in Ibiza or Barcelona rather than staying in London, or just going on a summer holiday and not going to a festival at all. So actually, I think summer this year was a challenge for festivals. Let's see what next year brings. Maybe things are evening out a little bit.
Yeah, predicting the future right now is really tough. We see it a little bit. One thing was the BNPL, so the buy now and pay later. That format is happening a lot more, where you have to be more price sensitive.
yeah,
So maybe the price is a bit higher, but you give the buyer a chance to pay in installments.
it takes away the risks of the risk. Also, when an event is cancelled, for instance.
So that's one other reason why you go through your trusted platform. One is just because we're always going to take care of our clients. So that can be from a simple chat support. You can read the FAQs, but if you want someone to reply to your chats, we're there for it. And then the other thing is, okay, that organizer might disappear, but you purchased with us and we're going to back it because it's our company, right? And so obviously there's a huge risk involved with that, and insurance as well, but it's trusted, right?
Yeah.
And so when a client has the options of buying on one platform or another, I mean, you can compare it to booking. Sometimes I don't bother calling the hotel directly.
Yeah.
I just go straight to booking because I know that if something happens, they're going to take care of their client, and we try to do the same thing.
Yeah. And Charlotte, are there any other challenges besides like inflation or a possible new outbreak? Are there any other challenges that you notice of when selling, being able to sell primary tickets? Sorry.
I think those are the main ones, really. Competition as well. London's a very saturated market, especially this year with everything being open again.
How do you keep up then?
You have to know your audience very well, and I think actually a strong point is, like, when the market is saturated, you need to ask yourself what your event is actually bringing to the market, and is this an event that people really want to go to? What is it bringing? Does it have a strong narrative? Is the artist really hot at that time? If not, is it a particular comeback show? Like, what's the angle? Like, are you putting an event on for the sake of putting an event on?
Yeah.
Because there's a free date in the diary and there happens to be, you know, someone on tour? Or is this event contributing to the actual scene? Does it have a strong narrative? What are you selling and what's special about it? And I think with things being so saturated, a good portion of the shows in the market don't need to be there. And all promoters are guilty of that. So, but yeah, I think, you know, that's a strong question. Are your ticket prices good? Is the event good?
I think we have to nurture the industry. I think
In what way?
I think we got to a point where it just got bigger and bigger, and a lot of the ticket sales were based on who the names were. And I think a lot of people are taking a step back and saying, you know what, okay, the lineup is amazing, but I'm not going to be able to see all these people anyway.
Yeah.
And the experience of seeing one of your favorite DJs in a club sense is so much different to seeing an hour or two at a festival.
Yeah.
And I think people are appreciating that. I don't know, sometimes I feel like buying a huge ticket, you know, a big ticket for a festival and getting to see half of what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
You're better off spending half of that and then actually spending 2 or 3 hours with that artist you want to see in a club where the music's totally different. So where I see is like the going back to the club. It's kind of cliche, but I really do feel like we as an industry need to nurture that.
Yeah, because if you explain this, I agree, but I'm also like, yeah, when I go to the club, it's like a shorter time spent. So if I go to a festival, I get more, well, not more of one artist, but I get more value for money because I can see more different kind of like artists and DJs.
I think it's hard to compare because it's like comparing apples and oranges. Like, club culture is always going to be super strong.
Yeah.
A great club is incredible. A great festival's incredible, and they're very different. And I think if you're going to pay festival ticket prices, then the experience aspect really needs to be there. And it's about more than just the artists are playing. It's about the stages, the production, the sound quality, the food and drinks on offer, the chaos that can come with a really good festival is special, and those are memories that you never forget.
Yeah.
So they're very different experiences, but with different ticket prices to match.
I never managed to catch my favorite artists at festivals.
No.
You're having too much fun like on the way, yeah?
That's a great experience. I mean, that's why you go,
It's
right?
a different kind of experience.
Yeah.
Are you more a festival guy or a club guy? Or maybe neither?
Yeah, I mean, I used to go to many festivals back in the days. These days, I like my evening concerts better.
Yeah. Just, is it because you grow older and you want to be in bed earlier, or it's just a shift in experiences?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I grow older, but
Been
yeah,
there,
just
been there, done that.
kind of, yeah.
I did some tour managing myself. I've been in a few clubs.
Yeah, you did tour management of Loco. Is it Loco Dice?
Yeah.
I thought it was Dice, but maybe
We've been to several of her events.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dice has played for us several times.
Amazing venue, Tobacco Docks.
Thank you. Yeah.
I had a great time.
Cool.
Yeah.
You did that for how many years?
Almost 3.
Yeah.
Almost 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were living at night then, right?
And living in a plane and at night.
That's hard.
Amazing experience. Really good. Great to see the world.
Yeah.
Really fantastic.
And also the other side of the artist side of the music industry.
Yeah, of course. I've been very fortunate to see the industry from many different points of view.
Yeah.
And I've been able to see like all the beautiful festivals not all of them, but many of them that were in the festival experience.
Yeah.
So like the Coachellas and
so you have like a 360 view, and then you can integrate that in doing sales, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then and then I've spent endless hours in clubs as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that part too.
You still look very good for someone who spent that many hours in clubs.
Why? Thank you. Why? Thank you. The artists look good too, and they've done it for 20 years. But
Yeah.
I did a lot of yoga during the confinement.
Oh, okay, so yoga is the key.
We're shifting, right?
Yeah, hello
We're
clubbers.
evolving.
Tamas, I wanted to ask you, What is I know TicketSwap does many different campaigns in app. What is one of the most successful campaigns you ran? Because I think people can like be able to buy tickets through doing games or like activations at festivals. What is something that went really well in converting fans into visitors?
Wow, and it's a complex question, and I'm also not the marketing expert at the team. But I think you need to give good content to the fans, and what I've seen very successful when you are able to create a campaign which is a synergy between online and offline elements. So those were the ones that performed really well. So when you communicate a message online, but they can also find your activation in an offline environment. So one of the partner festivals of ours or one of the club partners of ours, those are the ones that are a combined experience between the online and an offline world, with a good content, and quality is probably the most important. Yeah. So one thing I don't like to do, or I'm sure that our marketing team doesn't like to do things halfway. So if we start to execute something, that needs to be top notch. Yeah. And we had a few activations throughout this summer in big European festivals. And those are the ones that we are really, really proud of and looking forward to the next season.
And in expanding, are there countries that still rely on like printed tickets, and it's really hard to?
How much time do I have? No, I'll just give you one simple example. So Germany is also in my portfolio, and before COVID, I mean, people advised me not to go to Germany. Like, don't open office there. And everyone is printing tickets, putting that on the what's that? I almost wanted to say Kühlschrank in German. Fridge.
The fridge.
The fridge. The
Kühlschrank.
Is it because it feels more reliable to have something?
I think it's in the culture. It's cultural.
I mean, even you go to a restaurant and you have to pay cash. I'm just like, excuse me.
It's cultural.
You know, but it's just like we're in the same thing. We just opened an office in Hamburg, and it was the same issue. It was like there is no culture for it. It's not worth your time. It's the number one economy of Europe. It's got to work, you know. It has to work, and we see the evolution of the market from my mom buying movie tickets online. That it's evolved everywhere, and we've seen it there. And I think you're totally right about it.
Yeah, there's much truth to it. But for example, COVID changed that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you know, like the demands coming from the authorities that they need to know who is in your venue for safety measures shifted the whole industry. And they might not be there with online purchase behavior and e-tickets as the Benelux, but it's completely changed. And then I mean, I can tell a whole lot about the Brazilian market where ticket touting and issuing tickets is in a different stage, but
there are plenty of challenges.
Challenges there.
Not wanting to pay taxes. I mean, that's a challenge that we deal with every day. What's that smile all about?
Do you want to
We're 100% clean, you know? Like, it's an industry that has been cash-based for many, many years.
There's a lot of characters in our industry, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But that's what makes it what it is, right?
Absolutely.
Although, on the contrary side, when I landed first time in Brazil, and first thing I did, like I went to a cash machine. Like, in this market, I'm surely gonna need like cash in the pocket. Not at all. Everyone is paying with mobile apps, with bank cards. Yeah. So sometimes things surprise you.
Yeah, we had someone from Brazil yesterday in the panel, and because I thought so as well. I thought you have to pay cash everywhere in Brazil, and it also probably would be difficult to have people buying tickets through an app, but they're actually quite digital in Brazil. All the other countries in South America is a whole different ballgame, but Brazil is quite like living in the future.
Totally.
We definitely do studies before entering markets to see what the use is and how people interact with technology, and they're definitely major factors to investing in moving into another country. Yeah. I mean, even I think we're late for Germany, but I still think that now is the time, and it's a perfect example. Okay, Berghain will never sell tickets on online,
No.
but how many Berghains are there?
Yeah,
Right, the rest of them do, and we see like tables as well, removing the intermediaries of getting a table, not sure where you're going to be sitting, are you going to get a cool table, or is it still going to be there when you get there? All of that kind of stuff is giving the organizer more leeway to negotiate, and also the buyer knows what they're getting, and sometimes it was a big lottery in the past, and we've seen that, and we're seeing the trend change.
Do you also think that getting a table at a restaurant or well, not a restaurant, but at a club is something that is more popular these days? Because when I went to the club, like just around the corner, my friends and I never like bought a table or table service, and now these days I hear a lot of people buying tables.
It depends where you are. We don't do table service at any of our events, but I guess if we did an event in Ibiza, there would probably be that element. And you mentioned Mykonos as well. That's another popular place.
One advantage besides the trends. So obviously we've seen the trends of VIPs getting bigger. A lot of the dance floors are getting smaller. But as a ticketing company, we see that it's a way of upselling. So that if someone's not going out that often, or maybe is a bit older like myself, you see a ticket price at, I don't know, 25 euros, but then if you see the opportunity to have a table for 4 at 150 or 200, you know, all of a sudden your experience, and we talked about experiences, has changed. I don't think it's not, I'm not passing any judgment, but it also has helped clubs adjust a bit more, and they get the clients can get a different experience. I mean, some even just do bottle service at the bar, for example, you know, and so you get your bottle on the bar instead of being in a, or now they're sectioning off clubs and you can have different sections. It's for price break as well. I mean, it's very elitist.
My little pillow just slipped.
It's very elitist. I mean, but
a bottle service at the bar actually sounds like something really weird, because you actually get your drink at the bar. Why should there be like a bottle at the bar?
I think it's quite common in many cultures. I mean, I know in Spain and in Italy, I've been in many clubs.
Is it like a bodega?
No, but you can even, like, I know in many places where you can buy a bottle and you put your name on it, and you come back the next week and your bottle's there.
Oh, it's just like in Japan when you get sake.
In the UK, that bottle would not last a second week.
No.
Well, you can put locks on it.
You have your own lockers. We're working on that too, right?
Yeah, they do that in Japan, right? Okay, well, maybe I'm gonna look into this, because I'm not familiar with this in the Netherlands. But thank you for explaining. I think we have to wrap it up. Because we're out of time. I want to ask one last question. Do you have any tips for people who want to, or for companies who want to sell primary tickets, to make sure that it's effective?
I think first, we need to make sure that the event that's created and the lineup that's there, it's something that's of interest and of value. That's the most important part. And once that's together and in place, I'm sure you will find your channels to reach the audience.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say use our platform.
Yeah.
No.
Xceed.
No, I think patience and creating a community, I think, is really the is where it's at right now. Reaching people has become so difficult, and especially in the marketing sense. And I think this, whatever Charlie has to say, is gold on that. But it's really hard to reach people.
Yeah. So
diversify, create that community, interact. Those are, and be patient. Build a story. Talk about content. I think it really depends on the event as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like what you said at the beginning, like also focus
What
on
to use
the
Xceed?
experiences. I mean, we are integrated, so you can say that. So focus on experiences.
Yeah.
So people for the money, they want better value. So yeah, experiment with new experiences to be created.
All right.
Yeah. And then on top of all that, collect the data.
Yeah.
Get
Data's
yourself a
super
good graphic
important.
designer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Graphic design. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, data, very good.
Data,
Yeah.
data,
Total-
data.
Data
totally.
is everything.
Make sure that everyone who goes through the door, you know who, when, where, why,
Yeah.
and you can reach them
Reach them
later.
again.
Because if
Mhm.
someone's spending to come to your venue, then they're a fan, they're engaged,
Warm
and
audience.
then you need to
Mhm.
figure out how to keep that interaction.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Mhm.
Thank you for your insights. And we have to see if there's someone in the audience that also wants to ask a question. Are there any questions left? Or today we don't have any questions. We're missing Oscar, obviously.
I'll be Oscar.
Okay, let's go then.
Guess I'm just curious about those trends in buyer behavior. Is that a COVID hangover? Like people just seeing events getting cancelled, or is there something maybe that's a bit more?
Yes.
I think a lot of it's down to the economy at the moment. Like music industry is not. It's a microcosm of the rest of the world. It's affected by, you know, inflation, oil and gas prices, people losing their jobs, having less money to spend. That's definitely a big influence. There's a rogue bee. It's sorted. Yeah, so that's a big influence, and a COVID hangover as well, for sure.
I think there's many factors. Obviously, people are going towards technology a lot less interactions hand to hand. In the beginning, we're a bit more worried about that part. I think everyone just wants less friction in their life, so technology's there too. It's give and take. I think there's gonna be a time it's gonna just be too expensive or too hard, and it's gonna adjust. But one thing is, like, people will always go out.
I was going to
Yeah.
say that.
Always
Yeah.
go out, and
For
even
all the
when
challenges, for all the challenges, there's still a lot to be optimistic about.
And we've seen it in the past when times get tough, the alcohol
wanna
sales
dance.
go up,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
we've seen that in the past, and it'll happen. So if it gets really tough, people might not spend on big festivals, or they might not spend, but they're definitely going to go out. Like, you have to
So
get
wait
your,
for people to
you
cope,
know, yeah,
right?
it-
Dancing is
Totally.
the best therapy.
Yeah.
And I had a quick follow up.
yeah, go ahead.
What does price sensitivity look like in this market? Because if you have to plan a festival, it's in 9 months' time, and you're already committing to your suppliers, and how do you know if your tickets are overpriced?
Mm.
How do you know if they're
Question.
underpriced?
It's a great question. I
Yeah.
think you have to deal with that every day.
Yeah, like a good market analysis, really. But I think you should kind of know, like, if it's a big event, and start with tiered pricing. So start with a low price early bird ticket and gradually increase the ticket price. And you might want to front stack it or end stack it towards the higher price, depending on your P&L. It's a difficult
I love this
question.
strategy. It's amazing what they come up. You should really dig into that,
Yeah.
because it's a beautiful. I mean, we've tried to do AI as well, kind of what the airplanes are doing, based on demand, but we're talking years of strategy and understanding. There's so many factors that our clients, obviously we can cheat a little bit because we have data from so many clients, so internally as a ticketing company, but it's really an art, and what they do is impressive. And understanding, taking care of your core fans first at a price break, and then understanding there's so many factors that can be holidays, when times, that pricing, competitors, that there's so many factors that I think there is, like, you can't remove complete computer generation and AI. There's really a side of it that's human based, that smell, that experience.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like, my hat's off to people like Charlotte, because it's really challenging.
I think if your ticket sales are stalling, like if your lower price ticket tiers have sold really well, and you get to the higher prices and they're just not going anywhere, then that's an indication that your higher price tickets are too expensive. And then you can start offering promo codes and incentives and discounts and really look after your audience that way by offering, you know, payday discounts or different discounts through your ticket platforms. You can offer ticket bundles like you mentioned earlier. There's a lot of ways to then make it more affordable if your high price tickets are just not selling.
My general rule is be patient. Don't go too high too fast, because there's no way back from that. You know, and if your core fans are always the ones who buy early, you don't want to offend them, because if you find out, if you buy at 20 and then you find that there's a 2-for-1 2 weeks before the event, you've killed your best fans. So it's like, hold, and we laugh about it, but that JPEG of Braveheart, it goes around a lot. It's like hold and hold. I mean, like, what percentage of you do early birds? You know, that's.
It depends on the event, really. It depends on the event and venue, but probably a good quarter of the tickets.
That's a real tip right there.
Well, thank you guys. I have to break it up because we're running out of time. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for coming and sharing all your tips and insights.
Thank you.
Please continue.
Thank you for having us.